Week 4, baby. Wilson time. We made it.
Well, technically it's week 3, but
Well, I mean, well,
fourth
yeah, I guess
episode.
4th episode.
And we're
Nice.
still
Good way
on
to
it.
start. Good way to start it off. All right.
Hell yeah,
Yeah,
boys. Hell yeah,
let's
brother.
go. Yeah. Hell yeah, brother. Week
Welcome.
3. It's this is time when people start making those trades and people start panicking a little bit. We've seen a little bit of that so far, right?
Yeah, definitely are. Everybody's starting to go antsy out there. But it
Yeah.
is nice to see some trades going through. I'd like to be hopping in that trade game soon.
Yeah, cleaner and Diz, this is when the fun begins
Yeah.
and the seasons crumble.
Seasons crumble. You're not really sure if you're making the right move. Only time will tell.
Yes. Well, I
Yeah.
think so. We decided that, we've been doing the Wilson time and it's been ending up like an hour or more. So we're going to cut this down a little bit, try to make it done in 45 minutes, boys. We know you want to listen, hear our beautiful voices, but we're going to try to shorten it up a little bit.
Yeah. Who would have thought that we are a couple of ramblers?
Nobody ever.
No, never.
All
Yeah, so
right,
let's hop right into it. Let's get into
let's
that
do it.
weekly recap.
Weekly recap. All right, so let's talk about who got shit on, who was doing the shitting. So we'll start out with Nut versus Trone. Trone won this one, 111 to 58. Uh,
Yeah.
not a good sign for old Nut. I will be the first to say that I love seeing Nut Calvin. Sorry, I almost said COD because he's usually starting off pretty shitty, but Nut Calvin and Gare all starting 0 and 2. It's like Christmas.
Oh yeah, Christmas came early, definitely. It's nice to see those guys. It's the turn of the tide again. We're seeing the shift happening compared to
Yeah.
history. But
And you know what I'll hear from these guys is like, oh, you guys are just only saying that because we've been so good in the past. Well, guess what? It doesn't matter about the past right now. It matters about today, and you guys suck ass.
exactly, exactly. It's like the same theory when COD's trying to hold on to his one chip there. It's like
Exactly. Not
that's
gonna happen, my boy.
ancient ruins now.
Yeah.
Now,
Well,
so yeah, let's talk about a little bit. I mean, what can I say? Deal then. Trone like, once again proving us that he doesn't need a lot of money going into these drafts. Dude just putting together hog squad after hog squad with no fucking money. I mean, I don't really know what to say about that. It's just the man's got an eye for talent.
yeah. Move of the week right there. Carson Wentz starting him up.
Yes, sir.
Aaron Rodgers obviously wasn't looking very good. Put him in. Gets a nice 27 points. I talked shit about Rashad Bateman, and I was like, I don't really know if he's going to keep it up. 2 straight weeks, 2 long touchdowns. Like maybe this is a trend, maybe it's not. I think it'll probably subside after a little while once J.K. Dobbins comes back. But right now, Trone's riding a high horse.
It is interesting. I was actually reading an article earlier about usage for a lot of these players, and Rashad Bateman was on there, and they were saying how he's not even getting elite usage. Like the numbers he's putting up, I mean, they're not like blowing out the water, like a Jalen Waddle or Mon Ra, but still really fucking good. And he's doing it with pretty average usage. So you think that'll probably come back down to earth a little bit, but I don't know, man. Keeps going.
Yeah, for sure. So Trone making the most out of what he got, and kudos to him. But let's switch it over to Nut. And this is where we get the shit on people. And Nut, I know you like the fiery, you want us to be the Fox News of the league and everything like that. Your team's not good, but it's you should be very concerned. I see you making those moves, but all those AJ Dillon talks that I heard all week long, and then literally right after the pod league comes out, you make the move. What's
Yeah,
up with
dude,
that?
literally. Yeah, what the fuck? Man backtracked so quickly on that prediction. Yeah, no, I don't know what to say about that, but and it's got to be very concerning for Nut. I mean, I think what he spent $29 on, yeah, $29 on Kyle Pitts. Bust? Like, I mean, it's too early, but damn, Drake London's
Yeah,
getting everything there.
you
And
know we shit on we shit on COD for his wide receiving core, right? I'm gonna tell you right now, Nuts wide receiving core. Old Mooney, he's not going to the moon anymore, man. This dude negative zero point 0.4 points. Like this guy gets no targets. He has no air yards this year. And that was his big thing last year, right? He had
Yeah.
crazy air yard usage. You obviously like Mooney this year. No, it's not the same. I
It's
think. Go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say, I just think it's wild. Last year, a lot of it was attributed to Allen Robinson being there and taking up all those targets. So you'd think that with A Rob leaving town, Mooney would be rocket shipping, but no, Bears are
No.
just terrible. And it's kind of funny too because not always. I mean, the offensive call playing and everything for the Bears for a long time was real trash. I can't remember the name of the coordinator, Matt Nagy, but fucking boo boo. And it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Bears are shitty. Like
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
get on them
All
all the
right.
time. That's what you get.
All right, we're speeding this up. Okay, we already started rambling,
I
but
know
we
we
had to
can't
shit
help
on,
it.
we had to shit on Nut a little bit. I had to give him a little love. All right, so next we got we had Cleaner versus Cal. Cleaner wins this one, 122-78. I'm not going with decimals unless it actually plays into a factors. Just to let you guys know. So, but 122-78. Cleaner, hot start, baby. That sexy
Yeah,
looking bald head.
man's
He's
cleaning
doing
up.
things.
Yeah, he's got the mop out. He's mopping people.
I want his team name to just be the Magic Eraser or something like that.
That spit shine with a little bit of elbow grease on top. God.
Uh,
Yeah, it
that's
definitely helps.
nice.
I mean, Aaron Jones doing Aaron Jones things. You know, it's kind of funny. I don't really. It's like the Packers. I don't know if both those running backs are just always going to go off, or if it's just going to be one or the other. But pretty typical Aaron Jones game that we're used to seeing. You're just blowing
Yeah,
up.
I think this week there's people that would be consistent on Cleaner's team, and then he's going to come to find out there's going to be very inconsistent people. Aaron Jones, this is an Aaron Jones type game, right? We'll see him fall back to earth a little bit, and then
Amari,
Amari Cooper,
yeah,
9 out of 10 receptions for 101 yards and a touchdown, ain't going to happen. Jacoby Brissett, buddy.
yeah, literally. I mean,
But speaking about that, he has the Buccaneers defense, great pickup. I think Cleaner's team all around is a good team. I think that you know, this was a good week for him. But I'm just saying, sooner or later, all those crazy point totals from certain guys that we expect to level out a little bit, it's gonna come back.
yeah, I definitely think it'll come back down to earth a little bit. But you also have to remember Cleaner's got Keenan Allen and George Kittle coming back at some point. So I feel like he's in pretty good shape. I think Cleaner has a well-rounded team, and anytime you have Patrick Mahomes in your squad too, you're always going to feel at least comfortable going into your week.
Yeah. All right, let's switch over to shit stain.
Yeah, old
So
shit saying, did he do any better? Nope, don't look like it.
no. Yeah, so sorry, Cal. We got to refer to you as shit stain now, just like crap bag.
Would
But
obviously
yeah,
diaper food.
yeah. Like what do we think about this? Mike Williams pops off. Michael Thomas does really good. He sells them at a high price, right? So I think not a horrible move for him. Um, we'll talk a little bit more about that trade later on,
Yeah,
but Tom Brady, not Tom Brady like um man, it's tough sledding out here for him, like some people put up big numbers, but Zeke, man, I'm telling you, that ain't the move right there.
yeah. I mean, again, being a Cowboy fan, as much as I want to believe it, offensive line just trash. They're stacking the box against Cooper Rush, even though Cooper Rush played, decent, but it doesn't matter until Dak gets back. They're going to be doing that every game. It's
As
going to
Michael
be
Irvin said, Cooper Rush was doing Tom Brady like things.
God, that'd be nice
um,
if that's
but
true.
if we think about this was the perplexed idea of Calvin taking two Cowboys running backs. Who are you going to start next week? Are you going to put Pollard in there? Are you going to have Zeke? This is the problem with having those two running backs and relying on basically thinking one or the other every week. It's just like the quarterbacks, right? You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Cal's team does with, whenever Godwin actually becomes fully healthy, if he does. And then I do like the Christian Kirk thing. The Christian Kirk is turned out to be a pretty nice pickup for him in the draft. He was talking him up. We went out the other night, and he said that was a secret weapon, and it's
Yeah,
actually kind of
I
paying
don't
off there.
care.
But
I don't care what his secret weapon is. He's shit stained. All right, on to
yeah, it
the
don't
next
matter.
matchup. So we had Cody versus Jesse here. Cody wins 131 to 125. So Cody takes out the reigning champ. Cody's 2-0, riding his high horse, you know what I'm saying? But this is still a high scoring matchup. Jesse's still putting up big numbers, so not concerned with his team whatsoever. But the only thing that's concerning about Jesse's team, right, is we're looking at Dalvin Cook. What's going on with Dalvin Cook? You know, it's it's kind of hard though to be efficient with the run game when you keep just turning the ball over and over again, like Kirk Cousins does.
Dude, Kirk Cousins was crashing his USS Enterprise all night. It was ridiculous. I mean, I'm saying that because I had Greg Joseph needing just like one fucking field goal, and the man just kept throwing the ball to Darius Slay. I just didn't understand it. I I don't, obviously it is a little bit concerning with the Dalvin Cook thing, but if I were to compare it to say like a Derrick Henry sort of situation, at least he's still on a good offense. I'm gonna chalk that up to just like one of those games that was just a real shitty game for the Vikings, and I think he'll bounce back.
Yeah.
Um,
What
you
about what
know,
about CO? Now let's go to COD though.
dude, I mean, yeah, good job COD on getting that Debo Jr., Curtis Samuel. I don't know, man. His team did what they were supposed to do for the most part. Like his hogs hogged out. Kyler Murray. I mean, that's why you drafted him, right? You spent all that
Yeah.
money on him. Nick
Well,
Chubb, same thing.
I I just want to say that remember when we first got done with the draft, when we just got back, and I said what the steal of the draft was, and I thought it was Nick Chubb because he went for less than people like Dalvin Cook and like right around the Aaron Jones type and the amount of money they spent. And I thought that it was a great value for him. And this is exactly what I thought. This team is just going to run the shit out of the ball until Deshaun Watson gets back, and Nick Chubb is actually getting goal line work. So I thought Nick Chubb was going to be good.
Yeah. No, I mean, $43. I actually just saw that. I didn't realize that's what he went for. It's pretty insane. That's a good value. Uh, Jesse, or I mean, not Jesse, but COD's team. He still got the running backs, Cam Akers. We'll see what the fuck Najee does. I'm still not big. I love Najee last year, but I don't really see him popping off this year. But I don't know. COD for how much money he had, and he's doing what he's supposed to do, right?
Yeah,
So I'm not.
for sure.
He had a good week. Good job on beating
Yeah,
Jesse.
we'll see. He'll trade away somebody, and he'll kind of screw up the whole grand scheme he's got planned. All right, let's switch it over now. We're going Jaden versus Scheimer here. So Jaden wins this one, 137 to 65. A fucking blowout.
Yeah.
Scheimer, no wonder he put people on the trading block. It's not looking good.
Yep. Well, obviously Trey Lance going out with the injury there solved this problem with the QBs. But now the problem
But
is,
I was gonna say the problem
yeah.
is now
I mean, there was a
now you
problem
got
before.
one.
Yeah, I don't really know if it's solved. It's more so you just don't have to think about it. And I thought honestly, Scheimer was going to be up there with Nut. Like I thought he was going to throw everything at Tua. Um, I didn't see. Did he actually pick up another QB? No, still
No.
rocking him, huh?
Yeah,
Well,
I would say, right. He traded for J.K. Dobbins, so he's probably hoping for that to come back and, you know, get something out of that. Hopefully, like an RB1, if J.K. Dobbins comes back to what he was. But then also, Gabe Davis was out. That's a big hit to the team, but still 65 points. You're right down there with the crap bags and the shit stains of the world,
we got the
And
outhouse now.
obviously, yeah, yeah. Everybody's just hanging around the outhouse. Um, so yeah, I think that's tough. Now, if we switch sides though, we go to Jaden's team, Amon-Ra St. Brown, right? Let's go.
Yeah, all hail the sun god,
No
man.
wonder he won the vote for the most popular team at the draft because of Amon-Ra.
Dude, fucking love that Amon Ra. Uh, yeah, it's again. I think said it before. I'm gonna say it again. Classic Jaden team. Dude's just got wide receivers like no other. I mean, there's popping off, and I wouldn't be surprised if Nuts prediction comes true with Justin Jefferson and Mon Ra both finishing in the top five duo there. That is a nice
I
fucking
also
squad.
I also want to throw a little shade at Steven. I sent it in the group me earlier today too. But Jalen Hurts, man, the guy looks great. He has crazy efficiency this year. That one interception, whatever. But two rushing touchdowns and another passing touchdown, 33 points. I'm telling you, man, he's a dark horse for MVP, and he's a dark horse to be a league winner. So
Yeah, no, definitely. Jalen Hurts is, I mean, I don't particularly like Jalen Hurts as far as like an actual, like, did carry me through the playoffs and win and everything, but like for actual football, right? But for fantasy purposes, yeah, I mean, he reminds me like Kyler Murray, when not this year's Kyler Murray, but prior Kyler Murray. He just fits that mold for the
rookie Kyler,
yeah, just like the quarterback you want in fantasy. They do that's going to run the ball, get tutties that way. He does it both, and as much as I hate to say it, but the Eagles do look good. I mean, they got a lot of fucking talent on that squad right now, so it's
yeah,
definitely making them look better. The one thing
yeah,
I just want to touch on Brian's squad one more time, real quick. You brought up the J.K. Dobbins thing. The one thing that concerns me with Brian's team is that in fantasy, right, which we all know, it's if you start off 0-2 and you have players that could be potentially good, but they're injured or suspended or whatever, you don't really have that luxury of time to be able to wait for those players to come back in and teach for
no, you
you.
got to win now. It's
Yeah,
all
it's
about winning
like,
now.
and that's one thing that concerns me with Brian's team. He's got some good players and he's just got some guys that, aren't playing obviously. And it's like how long can you sustain not winning before you need to start liquidating those players? So I know
Yeah.
I know he's putting those players on the block now, but yeah, that's my concern.
All right. Yeah, for sure. I think there is some things. Fantasy is all about win now, right? So I'd rather trade for somebody that can give me a W this week than trade for somebody that can come back in about 4 weeks and maybe give me some dubs then, right? We
Yeah,
want to think now. We don't want to think later.
it's definitely a different conversation when you're starting off 2-0 because you're like, okay, you know, I could if I lost one. But anyways, we get the point.
Yeah. So we go into the next, and we got Mitch versus Brandon here. Brandon wins this one 97-93, one of the closer games of the week here.
94, yeah,
Um,
97, 94.
oh, 97-94, sorry. But man, I thought, we forgot to do the matchup last week, and I thought Dobby was going to take this because Lamar Jackson was just balling. Like, dude has the longest play this year. That 79-yard touchdown run was just like insane. So I was like, he got it in the bag, and nope, good old Cooper Cup, baby. Just doing Cooper Cup things.
Yeah, that was a really good matchup to watch, and it was a nail biter coming down to the end of the week. I thought, with what Lamar did, I thought AJ Brown was gonna do more, honestly. Just the kind of night Jalen Hurts was having, you thought that AJ Brown would have a better game than that. So I was kind of surprised. And I'm telling you, man, the one thing with Gobby's team is I'm not feeling it. Like Adam Thielen, I mean, I drafted him I think 2 years ago, and I think that was the start of his decline. And especially with Justin Jefferson there now, I just don't really see it panning out for Thielen. Like I feel like he's kind of on his way out. But with that being said, I do like Gobby's team still, and he does have some question marks, right? But if
Yeah,
he can
like
put
Joe
up good
Mixon,
points,
you expect more out of Joe Mixon, and then I think the one thing that we've all come accustomed to seeing is, yeah, Professor Pleaser, Cordero Patterson can go off, but then he also falls down to earth, and when he falls down to earth, you're starting him in like your RB1, RB2 spot, and it turns into a little bit of a, you know, some kind of, a little bit of a liability there because now you're getting 5 points or 4 points, whatever it's going to be from Cordero. If he doesn't score a touchdown, or if he's not efficient on the ground, they're going to be playing from behind a lot, and they're not using him as much as they did last year, especially in the passing game.
yeah, no, agreed. I mean, the one thing Gobby can hang his hat on, he's putting up good points, and again, he's got Hopkins coming back at some point. I don't know. We'll see what happens with his running back situation there. And getting rid of JK. I mean, so far it's kind of panning out Henderson, but that backfield, dude, between Cam Akers and Henderson, it's kind of like the 49ers. Like, the fuck really knows what McVay's going to do. So, a little
Yeah.
worrisome.
Now on the
But,
Bijan side over here, right? So kind of touch base on it. Cooper Cup doing Cooper Cup things. This is what I was surprised that Brandon won this week because the three-headed monster and Jonathan Taylor, Herbert, and Cup, two of them did what they were supposed to do, and one of them didn't, and that was the biggest downfall that I was thinking of was Brandon's team is that the pieces around them aren't like the best like you don't have a lot of plug and play guys that you can put in there. But yeah, as long as those three go off, you're gonna have a really good week.
Yeah.
And that's why I was thinking Coffee might take this one is because Jonathan Taylor, like that was just a really shitty game.
Yeah, it was a really bad game. Colts looked fucking awful. And I think JT's like longest run was like 15, 16 yards, something like that, which was just ridiculous. But and fuck you, Brandon. Juju Smith Schuster is a pile of shit, dude. Like that
Yeah,
dude,
he's not.
he's not even relevant. Like I wouldn't start him over any of my wide receivers at the moment. I'd put injured Rondale Moore over him.
Yeah, no, I say Juju. Yeah, I say he brings the bad Juju. He's not the good Juju. So, yeah, what one season of 1,000 yards, and then since then he's just been steadily declining. He's not the guy. Maybe there is something to say about Ben Roethlisberger back in the day. Maybe he did make some wide receivers pretty damn good, look good too. Um, but let's move on to the next. And so now we'll get into our matchups here. So myself versus Garrett, I won 86-78. Man, sweating again, dude. Just waiting for those Monday night games, dude. Like, all I gotta say is, uh, I was talking to Dylan before the game, and Dylan was like, you throw a heavy punch out there, man." And I was like, I was looking through Stephon Diggs's all of his like historical analysis. 4 games in which he scored over 25 points. I needed a little over 25 points. And I was telling Dylan, I was like, man, 4 out of 60 games, like that's just not good. And this man comes out and goes up a nice 32.8 points for me and takes down crap bag.
Oh man. Yeah, crapback really got handed to him. I'm sure Garrett was feeling pretty good, and I like it. It's funny too because he said something in the group me about, uh, you know, Stephon Diggs possibly coming back and fucking him over, but the doing the way they did it, I mean, it was crazy. Like I
Yeah.
remember watching that game, and like Josh Allen was just shitting on the Titans, like they couldn't do anything, and it was just like, oh, Diggs Tutty. I was like, there's no way. And then I think he actually only needed like one more catch, but really solidified it with a third tutty. And I was like, all right, it's just like slapping Garrett in the face now, just taking your dick out. Boop.
Yeah. I'm going to say this. Yeah, I like getting the win this week, but I am just super concerned because Russell Wilson looks like ass. That team looks horrible time management wise. I don't know if it's Russ. I don't know if it's Hackett. I don't even know what's going on with that system. I know like a lot of people are feeling that you know, the Pookies, the Melvin Gordons of the world, like the offense isn't rolling. And my team, man, they can't stay out of the blue tent. And so I'm getting super concerned about my team. Definitely not looking at feeling as confident as I was at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, the Broncos are a conundrum right now. And maybe that's right. Name value player kind of thing. Like, who knows? It's funny too. You got the doctor on your team and he's injured himself.
Yeah.
Fucking
All right,
Dalton
let's go.
Schultz.
Let's go over to crap bag here.
Got back saying
So another
crappy.
another lackluster week. Finally dropped his RB1 Rex Burkhead, so that's good.
The
On the team.
dinosaur.
What are you looking at here? Man, Debo just not putting up Debo numbers. I don't expect that to be the case going forward, but everything else on the squad, I think this is Allen Robinson's only good game. The man has only got 7 targets through the first 2 weeks.
Dude, to be honest, we've been shitting on Cal's team pretty hard. Crabman might be the worst. I don't know, man. I'm looking at his team and I don't like pretty much any of it except for Debo.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's tough. Gary was fighting an uphill battle. Fucking had to put the dinosaur in, Kamara being out, and now he's got to deal with Mike Evans being suspended a game. I don't know. Maybe they appealed it, but I don't know what's happened with that yet. But
They denied it, so yeah, he's suspended.
Todd, yeah. I mean, yeah, dude, Gary's got to be feeling pretty down in the dumps because Cypher had a decent game and Allen Robinson actually did something and it looked like he had in the bag, but oh yeah, it was crap in that bag.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough sledding for Crabbag. I think I don't know what he's gonna do. He's playing that hero ball with Kamara, and Kamara. even when, the first game he got injured partially through and then he didn't play this week. And, Kamara's been used a lot and 6 years in the NFL and being used the way that he has been used, I'm not going to be surprised. It's kind of like the Derrick Henry thing. Like there's injuries and their body weight, they wear down. So
Yeah,
maybe this is the year that Kamara kind of just falls off a little bit.
it is kind of interesting. I think he's 27 or something like that.
Hmm.
You know, there's always like that weird shift of where the top tier players start to fall. It's usually like
Hmm.
3, 4 years, maybe 5 years in there, but you like see that shift and like there's the new wave players coming in and it's yeah, Kamara had a lot of change. I mean, between Drew Brees retiring, it's a huge part of the reason why he was so good. Obviously, he was younger, and Sean Payton with the play calling, and then I don't know. Kamara's also had a lot of weird shit happening off the field too. So I feel like the dude's just
Yeah.
kind of not all there, but
Yeah, for sure. All
it's
right,
looking bleak.
yes, it is. Crab bag is looking crappy. And that's unfortunate because, we expect greatness from Gare, but Gare has just not been greatness for the last 3 years. And, it's sad to see champions go down. Not really. So,
Boo.
boo. uh, so let's go over to your game real quick. And so it was you versus or Tanner. And you won 78-74 in convincing fashion. So what went good for your team and what's drawing concern?
um, well, it's good to see DJ Moore get a fucking touchdown because Baker Mayfield's driving me insane at the moment. Dude thinks he's a whole offense out there. I really like what I'm seeing at Pat Fryermuth. At last game, I'm pretty sure he got like 10 targets. This game, he's got 7 targets. He caught a tutty. Not a lot of yards coming from it, but I'm gonna take the targets. Tight end. I'm not expecting a whole
Yeah.
shit ton, but I don't know. I was actually feeling pretty down this week. Every week so far, these last 2 weeks, I had a pretty high projection, and I'm falling very short of most of these projections. Actually, last week I guess wasn't too bad, but this week definitely. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
The McCaffrey thing, Joe Burrow. Part of the reason, like I like Jamar Chase a lot, but I think Burrow's on pace to get sacked most times in NFL history in a single season. So um, with Jamar, it's like he got a lot of points for yards after catch, deep bombs going out to him, one for tutties. Joe Burrow has no time in the pocket. I mean,
Yeah.
dude just can't relax at all. So that's concerning.
All
But
right. All right, we're
yeah,
gonna stop talking about your team.
whatever. Yeah, literally Greg Joseph
You
can
get
fuck off.
you're getting
A win's
pretty
a win. That's
pretty
all I give
down
a
on
shit
me.
about.
All right, I'm gonna stop Dylan before he sinks into a dark slumber.
Yeah, I'm getting
Um,
depressed talking about it.
let's switch over to Diz here, and this is what we expected, right? We were joking about it last week, and man, uh, yeah, no touchdown for Miles Sanders. DK Metcalf doing DK Metcalf stuff. This team, I think it's gonna be tough sledding for Diz. I think there's a reason he's the bottom tier and then the pod league.
Yeah, the theme of nuts, podcast there was name value, right? And I feel like DK is that, until he gets another QB, right? And Miles Sanders a little bit of that too. I was dying, dude, because Diz was we were watching the games the other night together, and he kept saying every time Miles Sanders actually like get positive yards, he's like, Miles makes me smiles. And I was like, not for a walk, buddy.
Yeah, like I said, he got one touchdown last week. He got two touchdowns all last year. I'm telling you, he might not get another touchdown for a while here. Jalen Hurts loves stealing those red zone tutties.
Yeah, there's two things too that stand out to me with this team right now. One is a Derrick Henry thing. Again, I was reading some articles, and one of them was talking about how Derrick Henry could possibly be the biggest bust in drafts this year. And
Yeah,
kind of what you were alluding to earlier with the whole age thing, wear and tear. And dude's had some, kind of serious injuries over the years and the usage. Plus, the Titans are fucking horrible right now.
Yeah. Well, I think the problem with the Titans too is like, yeah, I was listening to a podcast and they were just talking about stick to what you know. Run the ball with Derrick Henry. Give the ball to
Yeah,
Derrick Henry. And, I think that that ideology is a fair point and it's probably the thing to do. But the problem is their defense isn't what it was, and they're letting up a lot of friggin' points, and they're playing from behind.
yeah.
So you're not having the chance to really just run the ball all
He's
the
not getting
time.
any targets. I mean, that's always been the thing with Derrick Henry is he doesn't get targets, right? Uh, I mean, it's tough. Like your elite running backs usually do, but Derrick Henry has always been like the one outside the norm who just can rush and kill a bunch of people and stuff when he's running. Like just State Farm City. But
Yeah.
uh, the last thing with this team that just made me chuckle real hard this week was him with that blunder spending $18 on Irv Smith. And then David fucking started him, and the dude actually had himself a decent game. If he would have started him, he would have won. So
That's good stuff. Yeah, and we're gonna get to some waivers here in a little bit, but just don't spend a lot of money on a player that you're not gonna fucking play. Like, what's the point of that, right?
yeah,
Like, be like COD, spend your fucking wad, shoot your load for Curtis Samuel, put him in the game and see what he fucking does.
yeah,
Um, yeah, that's what you got to do. So, all right, that's the weekly recap. So we went over everything that happened in week two. The teams that did good, the teams that did bad, what we think we're seeing from these teams, what we think that is a surprise and what isn't a surprise.
yeah.
Now let's move on to let's go to waivers. So we'll do waivers first before we go into trades. But waivers. So I'm just going to read these waivers off, and these are the top spenders, and then let's touch base on like two or three of them. So number one, Tua, $52 going to Nut. Noah Brown, $36 going to Cleaner. Eagles D, $16 going to Nut. Daryl Williams, $13 going to Gare. And Cowboys D, $10 going to Cal. So which one do you think was like the biggest surprise, or which one did you like the most?
Biggest surprise to me was Noah Brown going for $36, and I just, I mean, I like Noah Brown, of course, but Michael Gallup's coming back this week, possibly. But if it's not this week, it's gonna be next week, and we still got CD out there. Plus, it's still Cooper Rush, so I don't know. That was a smoke screens with Noah Brown. He just had himself a nice game, but $36, I would rather spend that somewhere else. Um, Tua actually made the most sense to me. I knew Tua was going to go for a lot this week. I didn't know how
Mhm.
much, but I knew it was going to be a lot. And yeah, even though Nut talks shit about the man all the time, like not how to get a fucking QB. So makes sense, And
Yeah.
Nut's 0-2. You got to make a move, right? What about for you?
Um, I say yeah. The biggest surprise was right, like Noah Brown, $36. And I think there's one thing. Cleaner is obviously new to the league, and I don't know if he's played with Fab dollars before and everything. And Fab dollars is not like you're thinking of draft dollars, right? But still, like $36 on Noah Brown. Like the next closest bid was like I think like $8 or something or $5.
Mm-hmm.
It's just yeah, like you said, like if you're gonna spend $36 of your Fab, are you gonna start him next week? Because Cleaner could potentially not start Noah Brown because he doesn't have to. He has Kareem Hunt in his flex. Um, so it might just be wasted money. And then the one that I liked the most, I like Tua, but then also I think that Eagles D for $16. I think it's spendy for a defense, but with Nut, right? He's had this horrible streak of like defenses in the
Yeah.
past and everything. And I think the Eagles D is legit. Like, Kirk Cousins, obviously it's Monday night and he sucks ass on Monday nights, but the Eagles defense looks good. Like they got a crazy defensive line. I think Darius Slay is playing awesome, and then they traded for Gardner Johnson, that safety from the Saints, and I think they're just super physical, and I think that's a good pickup, and I think that's a defense you might be able to ride out. I was putting in for the Eagles defense and the Cowboys defense, so you know,
No, I was too. Calvin getting the Cowboys defense, which I was like, yeah, good job, bud. Dropped him and then had to go spend some money, pick him back up. I was laughing at that, but
yeah,
whatever, it is what it is. But
yeah, for sure.
the one thing I didn't understand though, real quick, on the defensive part, was you have the Baltimore Ravens D, which I'm not saying that they're amazing, um, but they're still a good defense, and their secondary is like decimated right now. So are you gonna hold on to two defenses, or
That's
I
what
just
I'm not gonna lie. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm playing the matchups.
no, I'm playing the matchups too. But if you're on, I'm just thinking like, okay, if you're on two, you don't have a lot of depth on your team. Like you need to be picking up players more so, like people you can start in your flex, or you know, like on these
That's
teams that
true.
are on two, it's like you need to be able to fill in a little bit. I don't know, like
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, I don't know, but I think Nutt's just been burned by defenses too much. Maybe this is the year that he rides two defenses.
I don't know. Either way, we'll see what happens with old Nutty Boy there.
Yeah. All right. Let's switch over to trades now. So this is
Yeah.
the fun part because now we're getting into it where people are I put some players on the trade block. Scheimer did, a couple other people did, and people are talking now. We're getting the fluid conversations happening with what kind of trades, who can we wheel and deal, and things like that. So let's touch base on the two that happened. So first is Calvin and Cody. So Michael Thomas for CEH, and I'm just going to touch base on this for a second. So I think it was. I think the. I think it's like a this right here is like it's good but bad for both people at the same time in the sense that Michael Thomas was a sell high candidate, right? Like Michael Thomas, like I like Michael Thomas because he's getting red zone targets and you know that's what you want, especially in standard leagues. So I think it's great to get Michael Thomas. The problem is right health. Like, is this man going to be healthy going forward? We don't know yet. Obviously, first 2 weeks really good, but health concerns could be a thing later on down the road, as we've seen with Michael Thomas. Thing for Calvin getting CEH, Jared McKinnon and Isaiah Pacheco are getting more goal line carries and targets than CEH is. Like CEH isn't even the goal line guy there. But also at the same time, this man has put up two very good games, and he's like 24th in usage out of like, qualifying running backs. Like the man, like it's not sustainable, right? Like this guy's averaging like I think 14 or 13 touches per game, and he's put up really good numbers. We know in fantasy, right? Like volume is usually king, and if you're only getting 13 to 14 touches a game, I don't think that's gonna pan out going forward.
No. Uh, so here's what I'll say about this trade. I thought it was great for Cody because he needed a wide receiver. I thought it was bad for Calvin. And I could see why Calvin did it because he needed a running back. But if you're going to sell high Michael Thomas, I mean, I just have a feeling that there would have been some other people out there. I don't know who he was talking to, but I feel like you could have got maybe something a little better than CEH. To your point, right? The usage is not sustainable by Clyde. And Clyde has been known to do this where he has a couple of good games and it flashes like, oh man, this could be the time where he actually breaks out. Never seems to happen. Every single year when Clyde does something well, you go look at the articles and they're immediately saying sell high on Clyde. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying Michael Thomas is a sure thing, but what I like about Michael Thomas is that the dude is already putting up numbers, and you're also talking about a guy that not too far off in recent history was finishing as the number one wide receiver in all of fantasy, number three wide receiver in all of fantasy. So if I'm just stacking up talent, it's not like Michael Thomas is really old or anything. He's just been dealing with he had the weird, last season and some injuries. But if he stays healthy, if I'm going to pick talent over it, I'd have to give the nod to Michael Thomas. And I thought for COD, like both teams made sense, right? Calvin needed a running back, COD needed a wide receiver, but it's just the talent level there I thought was skewed.
Yeah, I think there's, like I said, the good and the bad of both, right? Michael Thomas, red zone
Yeah,
targets. He's got the name value, and then you got the injuries that come along with it. CEH, the man he shows that he can be an RB1, but then like we're saying, the Chiefs are unpredictable, right? Like you don't know who they're just playing to win games. Like, and anybody can pop off any given week for the Chiefs. And the
yeah,
problem with
exactly.
CEH is the volume's not there. All right, let's go to the next one, which is going to be Zach and Jaden, where Zach traded away his cornerstone of AJ Dillon for CD Lamb and Brees Hall. How you feeling about that one?
Dude, I'm so irritated by this one. So I like heard the Podley, right? AJ Dillon was going to be top 15 back or whatever it was. And then I also even hit up Nut about AJ Dillon, and he would verify to me that AJ Dillon is part of his building block. So to me, it didn't make much sense, but that's maybe just a little personal bias since I was trying to trade for him. But as far as the trade goes, I actually think it's a fair trade. I think AJ Dillon's gonna be like good and maybe top 15. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell because I need to see how the weeks shake out with the whole Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon thing. But obviously, I like CD Lamb. I think Brees Hall is gonna be up and coming. So I think for Nut, he got some more depth and he got some good pieces too out of it, right? Like,
Yeah.
and then for Jaden, he's already got a solid team. He doesn't even need CD to be putting up those wide receiver numbers. So now he's got himself a solid running back. So honestly, I like the trade. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. I think the difference is right, like the the boasting and like the promoting of AJ Dillon and stuff like that. And maybe that was Nuts
That's a
tactic
good
was to
plan.
make
Yeah,
everybody think about AJ Dillon. And right, you know, it's tough because like we're talking about CD Lamb here, right? But the problem is with this, like I was saying earlier, is you want to win now, right? CD
right.
Lamb, when Dak comes back, it's probably going to do better than with Cooper Rush. Yes, he had a better game last week than he had the first week with Dak Prescott and everything like that. But also week one was week one, and that's completely, it's very skewed. It's the first time you're gonna see your offenses play and everything like that in the regular season. So I think for Jaden, AJ Dillon has shown that he's eating into the usage. He's getting just as many targets as Aaron Jones is, which is what Aaron Jones' bread and butter is going to be that receiving back. So I think this is a great trade for Jaden. And not like Jaden need that much more help. And then I think Zach Nuts, like right, like it's good because he's starting 0-2 and he's probably looking for what if my season doesn't pan out and later on CD Lamb gets Dak Prescott back, starts doing what he's supposed to do, and then Brees Hall takes over that backfield. It might be a couple weeks from now, but that will help them out. So I see both sides of the trade. I just
Yeah,
think it was funny that Nut you know, talked so much about AJ Dillon and then was quick to get rid of him.
is Nut subliminally, saying things and is positively there to get us thinking a certain way, and then he spins it off for his own benefit.
Yeah, yeah, possibly. All right. So those are the waivers, those are the trades that we saw this week, and
Good to see some
it's
trades
great to
coming
see.
through.
Yeah, exactly. It's good to see, we got motion. We got motion. This is what we like to see because we like to see everybody involved in everything. So let's go into picking our, week three matchups and who's going to win, who's going to lose. And we're going to make this quick because we're trying to cut this down and we got about 3 minutes to do this. So we'll just take a quick look at the teams and we'll just say, boom, this is who we got.
We're probably
All
gonna go
right.
over a little bit, but it's fine.
So Dylan, let's see. You got Cal versus Jaden first.
Yeah, not much to say here. Again, I don't care if you got CEH. Shit things stay shitty. I'm taking Jaden's squad. I mean, Jaden's consistently putting up the big games, and now you got AJ Dillon to add to that. So don't really see much changing here. And Calvin is literally riding. Oh, he's riding the Cowboys again. He got the Cowboys D, Pollard, Zeke.
right back to his roots.
Yeah, and he got Tom Brady playing against that Packers D. Fuck Clyde Edwards. Yeah, it's just nah, not much changing. Anyways, move on. Jaden takes that one.
All right. And then so for me, I got Nut versus Jesse here. Not much to say. Jesse's averaging over 125 points per game. Nut is barely squeaking by, getting over 70. So like we're gonna look at this and we're gonna say it's gonna be a blowout. It's gonna be Jesse. He's gonna take this one. He also Josh Allen's going against Miami. Miami's giving up like the most passing yards in the league. Like this man is gonna feast. And I expect Jalen Waddle to still do Jalen Waddle things. Dalvin Cook, gonna bounce back. Nets team is just you're not there yet, bud, and I don't think you're gonna be there for quite a while. So I'm going with Jesse on this one. So now let's go to your next matchup. You're gonna digest and vomit out Garrett versus Brandon.
Good old crap bags back. Oh, Garrett's doing that fucking thing where he doesn't set his full lineup. I hate that shit. I don't know if this is,
It's because the people he's not starting are the people that he's like literally just like, what? Who is this?
yeah, it's tough, man. I mean, I don't know what Kamara's health looks like. Mike Evans suspended. There's not much to say again. Brandon's got a good team this year. I hate to admit it sometimes, but Will Buffalo actually put together himself a nice squad. Jeff Wilson came out and taught. I was really hoping one of those other San Francisco running backs would, but Jeff Wilson still got it. You mix it with a three-headed monster. I'm real curious to see. I actually haven't checked on Herbert's health like day to day. I don't know. Tony played with a fucking punctured lung and a broken rib, so Justin
I
Herbert,
was
I'm joking.
I was listening to this thing and somebody was like, what do you know, they're talking about injuries, right? And they're like, and this one guy was like, I'm gonna play it pretty simple to you. If it's day to day, he's gonna miss a week. But if it's week to week, he's gonna miss a month. And that's our timer. But he said, yeah, if it's day to day, then they're gonna miss that week because right, they're just gonna hold that optimism. But if it's week to week, they're gonna miss a month. And so I
Yeah,
thought about that. So maybe.
that is interesting. Garrett just doesn't. Garrett's got to make a move too. You see these other 0-2 teams trying to make moves out there. Garrett really needs to start getting that trade talks, which is usually Garrett's bread and butter. So I'd expect him to
Yeah.
be out there a little bit more. I just don't see it happening this week against B Johns. Throwing 3-0. Wow.
Yeah. Well, okay, so now we're gonna go next. We're gonna go to Cody versus Diz. Um, I'm gonna throw a wrench here, and I'm gonna go with Derek's card of boys.
The
Okay,
Carter
now the
boys.
reason why I'm gonna do this is very favorable matchups. Derek Carr, we just saw what Josh Allen did, and I think Derek Carr, Josh McDaniels is like this really weird head coach where like it looks like he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing half time, but he also learned from Bill Belichick what it's all about is basically going week to week and making the adjustments. I think Derek Carr comes out slings, but then also Devontae Adams lackluster game last week. Derrick Henry, he's gonna bounce back. So I'm taking Derek's card of boys, and they're gonna give COD his first loss of the year.
A little live update for you here. We just had a waiver claim go through. Crab bag picking up JD McKissick for $18.
Yeah.
That's how deep my team runs. You drop somebody off out there, and apparently they're gold.
Now let's go. Your last one is Brian versus Pate.
Yeah, Saquon Sailing versus DeAndre's deal then. I just realized we actually haven't been reading off the projections. Well, whatever. People can look at their own shit.
Now, if we think about this, projections don't mean shit, dude. Like you and I have been projected like the two highest teams the last 2 weeks, and we've both been fucking missing it out by like me.
Yeah.
It's been like 20 plus points, you like 30 plus points. So
Oh yeah, fuck projections. Um. Oh man, this is actually a tired one. I actually have to think about this one. It's like I like Brian's team. They just haven't been doing shit lately. I don't like Justin Fields. I don't care if he's playing against Houston. Justin Fields has been bad, bad.
yes,
Yeah, similar talent. Well, Pate's got a little more of the better matchups here. Yeah, I'll have to go with the deal then. Dillon's been
oh
putting
yeah,
up,
brother.
oh yeah, brother. He's been putting up good points too. And just need to see it from Brian's team. That's the thing is he's got a lot of big name players on there, but they're just not really panning out. And I mean, I know Saquon shit the bed last week, but Dieldin's just been consistent lately, so it's hard to go against the consistency. And he's got some players that are actually going off. Like Carson Wentz has been going off. DeAndre Swift's been having nice games. Sean Bateman's been good. You got Kelsey still there. Got the golden leg and Justin Tucker, or I guess his name's Ball Blaster now.
I like that name.
That's a good name. Yeah, and he's got Drake London too. Drake London has been hogging out, so if he decides to put him in there, yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the deal then.
All right. And now we got for my last one, we got Cleaner versus Gabi here. So Alec versus Mitch. And this one, Mitch comes back and he hands good old Cleaner's first loss in DBFL. Uh, and the one things that just kind of stand out for me here is just the matchups that Joe Mixon, AJ Brown, Daryl Henderson that they have. I think they have very favorable matchups, and I think Lamar Jackson is just gonna, unfortunately, probably teach the Patriots a nice little lesson. The reason that I don't like Cleaner this week, even though Cleaner's been putting up really good numbers and everything, is Aaron Jones will fall back to earth and he's going against Tampa Bay's defense, and you don't run against Tampa.
Yeah,
And if we
big
think about it
facts.
from last week, that was the majority of his points was coming from Aaron Jones. I think that drops down this week. George Kittle, that man, I feel like when he gets injured, it's like at least a couple weeks him being out. Like, maybe like I think does he play? If he does play, is he healthy? Jimmy Garoppolo hasn't been practicing with them. It's been Trey Lance. Maybe they aren't connected like they used to be. So I'm taking Gabi in this one.
All right.
All
Guru strikes
right.
back.
Yeah, and I guess the last one, I saved the last one. We have the closest matchup to with projections, but then also it's you versus I.
Oh, yes. Little brotherly
So
love.
let's do this. Okay. Give me one reason why you'll win and one reason why you would lose.
I haven't even fully settled on my lineup yet. One reason why I'll win. Uh, I think Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase finally figure it out. I think I'm
Yeah.
not fully confident in the rest of my players. Pittman's coming back. Okay, so actually, let me do it this way. So if I win, it's because Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase against the Jets. I feel like this is their get right game. If they don't do it this game, then I'm kind of feeling a little panicky with it. But the reason why I lose is because my matchups across the board are pretty shitty. And it's just like Pittman's coming back from his injury. I mean, obviously, I've been monitoring his injury, but I don't know how healthy he's fully going to be. And both my Panthers are playing against the Saints, which has a stout D. And I was trying to get one of those other defenses, but I'm starting the Seahawks D against Atlanta, and I just don't know how I feel about that.
Is all right. Well, okay. So let's go. So I'll do the same thing for me. Yeah, I haven't really settled on my lineup too much either because literally half my fucking team is missing practice this week. So it's been kind of tough. I think the one reason why I would win is because this is the week. This is the week that I'm probably going to start Deontay Johnson over Jerry Judy, and he's going to have over 100 yards and at least a touchdown. And the other guys will pick up the slack too. Austin Eckler finds his way. But the main reason will be because Deontay Johnson, I actually start him this week. And that's mainly because Jerry Judy, literally, I think his shoulder is gone. Uh, so the reason why I lose though is that I have to replace all these injured players with the people on my bench, and the people on my bench don't do what they're supposed to do, which is score. So um, I think that's the one reason why I win is because I do play the right matchup, which is going to be Deontay Johnson against Cleveland, and Cleveland's pass defense has been dog shit. And he finally finds the end zone and continues his trend of at least 10 plus targets per game. And the reason why I lose is because I put in Damian Harris and Deontay Johnson, and I have to probably go pick up a tight end off waivers, and it's going to teach me a lesson.
uh, the waiver wasteland out there. God. Yeah, looking
It's
forward to our
very tough.
matchup, but it's always fun to play against you. I also fucking hate losing to you probably the most in the league. So
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time when I beat you.
yeah, we'll see, buddy. It'll be a tight game, but unfortunately, I got to go 2-1. Sit your ass down to 1-2.
Yeah, you must.
Yeah, it must
Yeah,
be
I'm kind of
done.
looking at this as we're talking right now, like waiver wire. Like, there's just nothing really to um grab for tight end, so that's pretty tough. Kind of upset about that.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot on the waivers out there. Everybody's blowing their fucking wads right now. I will say this is probably the craziest year I've seen with the Fab. I haven't seen. I mean, unless I'm just not remembering, but in the first couple of weeks, I don't ever remember seeing people spend this much money. I mean, you got some teams that like Jesse's down to $39 for the rest of the year. Nuts down to $22.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough sledding for some people out there, but
I'm just thinking like not even just regular season, but playoff time. You're trying to cock block people, or you're trying to get those defenses, the goody matchups. It's gonna be tough.
mhm.
Whatever, it doesn't
It's
even
gonna be
matter.
super tough. I'm definitely excited because I think after this week, a lot of people will kind of see what their teams are becoming or what they have been, right? And the trades will flow. The trades will flow like yogurt flows through grease.
Yeah, I definitely think that a lot of people are gonna really know kind of what the makeup of their team is, and obviously we'll be paying attention to each other's team, so be a good gauge on it. The talks are definitely gonna start picking
Yeah.
up more. I'm just real curious to see because as we go on, right? You go 0-3. I don't know. People are gonna start panicking a little bit. I've already heard a little bit of whispers out there with uh, draft dollars getting tossed around already, and so
Oh yeah, trust me. I've been in cahoots with people that have already been saying that, and I'm like, I don't really know what to say. I'm like, do I really want to give out draft dollars already? Like,
yeah,
is it already that time of the year?
it's yeah, it's definitely an intriguing question to be asking yourself at the beginning of the year. So there's always that.
We know that Calvin will have $150 by the end of the year.
Yeah, that man's literally. It's almost guarantee every year that he's gonna blow his wad. He'll never have more than 200.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some teams it works out that way.
You know what I just realized? So when we picked up the weekly matchups, right? I just go through like the matchups or whatever, and it's like everybody that we picked is on the right hand side of sleeper. So if all of our projections are right about who's going to win, the whole right side will be the winners, and the whole left side will be the losers. At least on my sleeper app.
Interesting. Oh, not on mine. Wait, yes,
Oh
on
damn it!
mine.
Yes, dude, that's gonna be
Wait,
crazy. What
is
if
that Jaden, Brandon, Pate, Derek's cart? Where's Gobby at? Oh, she was Joe Jackson. Yeah, all on the right side of my sleeper too.
Well, the only thing that follows suit, and which is not going to happen, is that it's going to be on the left side on our matchup.
Yeah, I want you.
All right. Well, I think that's a wrap for
Yeah, let's stop
episode 4 of
rambling.
Wilson Time. We're probably at an hour, guys, but we know you love to hear our voices, you love to see our faces. Um, Not keep up with the Podly. Get the bump going, dude, or
I
get the
know.
carries corner going. I'm don't like the anticipation. I want to just have it now.
Yeah, um, I echo that. Obviously, love the Podly and the No Report. It's like something I look forward to every single week, and feels good for doing this show for you guys too. And we definitely have made it a point and emphasis in our schedules and everything. Not like we're crazy busy that way, but just meaning we're actually doing it, and it is nice to be looking forward to like content. So for real, even if it's like a 20-minute, video or podcast or whatever the hell you do, write something up, fucking sing us a song. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, anything.
Next week we'll try to narrow it down to 45 minutes. We'll also have a hyperlink where you can actually go and subscribe to Dylan's OnlyFans.
Willie's Wild Ride.
Yeah, we got to get that on the DBFL website.
Yeah. Yeah, please do.
Uh, all right.
Um,
Well, I think that should be it, right?
yeah, no. Thanks for
Let's call
listening,
it.
guys. We'll see you out there in the trenches.
Good luck.